Okay, my good friends, I have an update on the map showing what I thought was the dragon, and now I find out that it is not necessarily the dragon, but we'll take it a little deeper and see what the statement was and what this particular structure is. Now, somebody sent me this other half of the map this morning, and that was sent to me by Peter Brummer, who's a mud fossil guy. He's keeping an eye on things in the mud fossil world. And he went and did a little research. I'm telling you, I am getting people doing absolutely fabulous research. Just absolute people down the street. Normal people trying to find out the answers that are real answers. People that are avoiding the real answers are the ones that should be doing this work. But let's just forget about that because it's not going to happen. Now, so what is this? I thought this was the dragon because way down the other end there you saw all that spiked tail. Well, another guy sent me something. He said, no, it's impossible. The spiked tail is way too far to be where the dragon was. And I agree, he was correct. I thought the scale, the map was not to scale, but it's pretty close to scale. And what you come down here, this is the mountain range apparently. And again, I can't read these things, but I also got the translation. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. Now, what is this? This is where the dragon's head was. It got cut right there at his neck. Now, it's there. I don't know what to say, what this says about it, or what this cut means here in that language. But it's there, and they apparently didn't know this was a dragon. That's all I can say. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. The message does talk about dragons, so we're going to talk about that in a second. But I'm going to show you something else about the fish, because you know that the dragon, and then there's the fish down here. Here's another map. Another guy sent me today, and this is another mud fossil guy, Detroit Ron, and he sent me this other map. Now look at this. Yeah, now these are all the Atlas Mountains run all around there, just below the Straits of Gibraltar, and then there's the fish. Okay, so let's see what I got today from Detroit Ron. Alright, this is Morocco. That's how they used to pronounce it. I don't know exactly when this map was, but this was just sent to me by, like I said, Detroit Ron. You see right down there? Look at that carefully. Take your time. Looking at what you see, that's a fish. That's a fish. Now, I don't know whether the fish goes out this way or swings up this way. It's kind of hard to make the whole thing out, but that appears to be the fish. Now, we know that Atlas Mountains runs this whole thing all the way up to here. And if you look, it almost looks like it's got some kind of borders around it. They know that the thing was running off, and there's this channel that's his guts that run all the whole length of the thing, is for all I can tell you. But that's a fish. Now, nobody puts a fish on a map unless there was a fish that they knew was there. That's all I can tell you. And you'll see that this is just common knowledge at one time. You see, I've gotten some maps, and I'm getting a whole batch of people very, very involved in this, you know, all over the world. So, again, I get this from another guy, Tom Moore, who's another mud fossil guy. He's up here on Mud Fossil University on Facebook looking it over and sends this. He's got a son that does this. He says, I must tell you, I enjoy your videos and have mud fossil eyes. My youngest son teaches Arabic at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. I asked him to translate the map, and here's the translation. He copied and pasted so nothing to be missed. He says the map is actually an old French map of Barbary, what North Africa was known as at the time. The language written on the map is Old French, only used until the late 16th century. All right, so the map was 1519. All right. When it developed into a now extinct language called Occitan, precursor to modern French. So it's pretty interesting. And I had gotten that from a bunch of different people said that. They didn't know what it said, but they said they saw a couple of words in there and associated to this particular Occitan, which is this early French. Now, it describes a very common map-making feature in the 13th to 16th century where European map makers would describe oceans, seas, and land masses hadn't yet been explored or mapped as being occupied by dragons, beasts, etc., as a way to warn travelers who might wander into those unmapped territories. All right. That verse specifically refers to demonic beasts on the other side of the mountains. Right? It doesn't specify which mountain range, but it's obviously that runs down to the Atlas Mountains. All right, and it warns the traveler in Pellegrin in Old French. So don't go there. There's dragons over there, maybe. All right, so I sent him, thank you, very nice, fabulous. And I sent him this map, which is the other side, so that he could see where the dragon was and where it was cut and all that stuff and the fish and everything. So he sent back and he says, thank you for that. It's very interesting how it seems to be common knowledge several hundred years ago, and now it's totally denied in academia. By the way, Roger, your videos have opened my eyes to a lot, especially things that I used to think I saw when I was a kid, would always brush it off. And everybody else does too, because you're told what to think, and if you don't think what you're told, then you will be ostracized. That's the way it works. It's a mob mentality society. It's unfortunate. And when truth comes right in your face, it's not even, it's told to go away. Joy Ness has been looking for mud fossils and posted this video a while back. I haven't seen it, and she alerted me to the fact she posted it. It's called Mud Fossil Discovered Fossilized Remains of Dragon, on Tarifa Beach 2018 project. Now, so I came up and looked at it, and sure enough, absolutely, I'm with her 100%. Now, what happened apparently is it's called Dragon Beach. The place is called Dragon Beach. After a severe storm, this showed up, the dragon scales. Now, this happened in Oregon just recently as well. I mean, this is kind of interesting. But, you know, it's very, very certain what she's got here. Now, I'm not going to dig into her thunder here, but I mean, I'm telling you, this thing is I was pretty impressed. So, what you should do is come up here and look at it. And what I want to do is make a couple of points about how you should go about photographing stuff. Now, and there's no criticism whatsoever, but I did notice that, you know, this particular shot was perfect where I'm going to turn this on, where she stopped at it and you can look. But a lot of it was a little more movement rather than stopping here and there. And because I want to see these kind of structures, the anomalies where there's blood. Now, those could very well be scales, and they are. But there's going to be blood, like these kind of different types. And I think I saw some places where there was actually red spots, and that probably is something along with this, it's blood. You see stuff like this, something that you could break off to look inside where there would be surface with blood. You see that back of that one there? I sent her a couple notes about what to look for, but there's no question it's a dragon, or it's a scaly creature of some sort. And then as she goes further and further, it's just obviouser and obviouser. And then when I went looking on Google Earth, I found it. I mean, it's no question what it is. So, you know, in my mind, I mean, you see what you see. All right, here it is it's called Tarifa Dragon Kite Surf. It's Dragon School. It's right in front of Dragon School. So I came down, I looked at it, and I couldn't find anything looking in this area here. But as you come up here, right up here, Lapina, if you come in here, you're going to find this whole mountain is some form of a creature, that whole entire mountain here. And these stripes are its patterns. That's not something they put there. That is the stripes of these rocks. You see them? Some kind of scales or whatever it is. All right, nobody put that there. Now, what is this creature? Who knows? But what I saw down below in the area where Joy filmed, I would say it was a dragon or a reptile of some sort. Snake, dragon. And this stuff is the same thing. This is a huge mound. This is not a little tiny thing. You see this? You see? This is not accidental here. Nobody did that. And they say, oh, these standing stones. Well, maybe they're standing, maybe they're not. I don't know. Maybe they're dragon scales that were standing, that they find all over these places and they think somebody lined them up. But I don't think so. I think a lot of them were lined up. But these, I think, were lined up by nature, and the nature was dragon.